Welcome to episode 31 of Beer with Strangers. I'm your host, Tony Russo, and I'm joined this week by Sean Hager. Doug is all sweaty from fixing up the place. What were you guys doing today?
Adding a walk-in cooler so that when we have beer competitions, we can, keep it cold. And when we get the wine juice from Italy, Chile, and California, we can keep them cold till people come get them.
Yeah, Doug was talking about that last week. How that way you can have it stored, and it doesn't have to be an emergency like the minute it comes in.
Right.
Everybody's like, okay, now come get it. So you have to hold it for a couple days.
Yeah.
You could hold a couple for a couple days. We got a great show for you today. No guests just yet. Maybe not next week, but the week after, I think we're going to have Brian Brushmiller, who's going to finally join us on the air. Possibly. That's the rumor, and we'll see. But we got to talk about plenty of things, and first of all, I guess we'll talk about the breaking news, which is that Flying Dog has put out their Brewhouse Rarities list for 2015.
I've never got to enjoy one of those.
Oh, really? I thought you would have story. I was sure that you would have a story for me.
No, I never. I always am late to the game when it comes to getting these super rare beers. But I'm looking at the list right now, and Mexican hot chocolate stout seems intriguing. Because
that would have the cinnamon in it, right? That would be a little bit of extra cinnamon.
I would think so. Yeah. More Mexican liqueur. Either way, it ought to be a lot of fun. Sriracha Pale Ale. I love sriracha. I very much do. And
have you made one? I didn't realize how. I don't know why I didn't think that anyone had done it before, but it's actually been done several times. There are lots of recipes out there.
I've had pepper. I've had pepper beers before, but never one with sriracha. I mean, I've drank my fair share of Vietnamese pho with sriracha.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I'll make it red. Earl Grey Black Wheat. I don't know about that one. There's a lot going on there. Juniper White IPA. Now, juniper I've had in a beer. It's pretty good.
Well, juniper is what the flavored gin, right? Isn't that juniper?
That's one of them, which I personally love. And actually, it's funny. Me and my girlfriend have been having a bit of a friendly argument over gin. I like the very floral, all over the place gin. She likes the super dry. To me, it tastes like hairspray gin.
Well, have you tried the new one from Bombay yet? The Bombay Yeast.
No.
Bombay Yeast is very, very good. It's all sorts of stuff going on in there. It's still dryish, but there's pepper and there's like lemongrass and there's all sorts of really, really cool things happening in that gin.
I'll throw a shout out to the guys over at the Painted Stave. Their Candy Manor gin, in my opinion, second to none. It's got 15 different things in it.
Wow.
It's got what's that Delaware goldenrod? Oh, that's it. It's got that, and it's got lavender, I think. Oh, it's amazing.
Now I don't know what you're talking about. So Candy Manor. Where is that?
There's a new distillery. It's Delaware's first distillation only distiller, and they're in Smyrna. They have a gin.
I'll be driving by there Friday afternoon.
There you go.
Maybe I'll pop in.
I would say stop by and try a couple of their.
Pick up some gin. Yeah, I never really get to do the touristy thing between here and New Jersey. I do touristy things around here in the fall, and then when I go to New Jersey, I can do some touristy things. But I don't like. I've been through Smyrna 300-400 times.
I mean, honestly, if you stay on 13, like if you don't take one, if
right?
You stay on 13, it's right off the road. It's delicious.
Well, we're going to make an effort to get there. I was interested in the spiced pear ale.
That sounds really good. It just to me sounds like some kind of cobbler pie.
That's what I think. It's gonna have that kind of clovey kind of experience. So
they're going to do an IPL, Indian Pale Lager, and a smoked Belgian stout. Now, as it's not a surprise to anybody, I'm not a huge Belgian fan, but that one,
well, because you are a stout fan.
I am a stout fan, and I am a smoked beer fan.
Well, one of the things that actually this led me to that I posted on the site, but I don't have posted here, was a recipe for sriracha stout barbecue sauce.
Yeah, that sounds amazed.
And I think that if you go to the State of the Beer website, the State of the Beer Google page, you can find that there. If you visit the blog post that follows this, the blog post right below, I guess, if you're listening to it, you'll see a link for it there as well. Very interested in maybe making that. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this weekend, but that was, Sriracha Stout and then tanginess.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with Sriracha. I know everybody was terrified for a while because
they looked like it was going to close.
Yeah. Oh,
the neighbors were complaining.
I was going to cry. Actually, I'm just realized I'm drinking a Belgian right now. I'm drinking a parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme saison.
Oh, I had that. That wasn't bad.
It's kind of like a Dogfish's saison de buff-ish.
Which I didn't try yet, so.
It's good. It's good.
It's green tasting. That's what I say. Taste
kind of vegetative.
Yeah.
This one's crazy. As it gets in the keg, as time goes on, it kind of goes back and forth between a few different herbs.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sorry. So let's talk about that for one more second. How long have you guys, is that a new one that you guys just developed, or?
I think we did this one 3 years ago, maybe 2. It has a following. It's a love it or hate it kind of thing. A lot of people were like, "Oh, look, a saison. It's light and peppery. Oh, wow, that's a lot of peppers, or not peppers, but herbs."
Yeah.
I'm not normally a fan of saisons, but this one, it just seemed to work today. So.
Well, you were working hard outside in the.
Not me. Not me. That's their job.
You were watching them work.
Yeah, I'm the one making sure that all the customers in here are satisfied.
Now, we had Ed here earlier. We were chatting before we started. As I mentioned before, but I'll mention probably on every show, I recently finished a book. And my book is called Eastern Shore Beer, A Heady History of Chesapeake Brewing. That's the official name now. And one of the things that I'm interested in is older recipes. And I got some inkling of some older recipes, but I don't have all of it. So we're still looking to see if we can find the rest of the recipe. And I've been going to archives and things like that. And this is why this news article caught my attention. Earlier this week, I think, earlier this year, they found a recipe for California pop beer, which was something that was made in the 1800s. And and look at this. I'm sorry, I'm just going through this for the first time. I just noticed that it was there. They didn't ferment it so much as they added alcohol to it.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Grain alcohol, more grain alcohol, wintergreen oil, sassafras oil, spruce oil, hops, cream of tartar. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, sorry.
Tartar?
Yeah, we'll go with tartar too. 2.5 teaspoons of ginger, a half a gallon of water, 3.5 pounds of sugar. What was above that?
The yeast, how to make
yeast. Yeah. You propagate your own yeast. It's kind of funny they had hops with the yeast. 2 teaspoons of ground malt, hops. It's just hops.
Yes.
I guess whatever's growing.
Just whatever you got your hands on.
Yeah, I think it was cluster. I think is right. It was the first hop grown in America.
Well,
knowingly.
My guy that I'm studying did Farnham, which is Ed heard of it. It's a kind of it's they still use it today, but it's got a different name today.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But so maybe it was cluster, but Farnham is what they were using. But so yeah, this can totally be made. I didn't know that. I would have brought that up before the show. That's a lot of sugar.
I'm intrigued. The spruce oil is a little.
Spruce oil is going to get you the same kind of flavor that piney flavor, right? That hops would give you, or no?
Well, no.
No?
Spruce tips. If you use spruce tips in beer, it's very pleasant. If you use spruce extract in beer, it's
less
assaulting. It's only 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm assuming this is a 5-gallon batch.
Yes, it's a 5-gallon batch.
Oh, that wouldn't be too bad then. I've been quite obliterated by spruce extract beer before. That seems very interesting, though. Just it's funny how it shows you how to get the yeast kind of propagated.
And so, can you talk to me about that? What does that tell you? If you put that together for long enough, the right kind of yeast will be attracted to it from the air?
I don't know if it's that or if it's what you're just trying to.
To like the Kickstarter. What's that called when you make
a starter? I mean, it's 3.5 ounces of teaspoon or 3.5 teaspoons of wheat flour, 4.5 ounces of cold water, a quarter teaspoon of hops, 2 teaspoons of ground malt, and a half teaspoon of grain alcohol.
Oh, is that instead of the yeast?
No, I'm thinking that you're going to add yeast to that, and that's going to be its starter. It's just strange to see hops and grain alcohol in there. I don't know if it's to strengthen the yeast up or what. It's a very intriguing recipe. I might have to
give it a shot.
Yeah.
Well, if you give it a shot, we gotta have it on have it on the show for sure. Because I would love to try.
I'm gonna print this out. I don't have any grain alcohol here.
Well, you don't have to make it tonight before you go.
Right. I might have to. Might invest in some Everclear.
Yeah.
But not in Maryland.
Why not?
You can't get in Maryland anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Apparently kids had too much fun in school.
Well. So that's also on the site if you want to take a look at it. But what interests me is when we're putting, like, I know that they've done it at Dogfish Head, and I know other breweries have done it, but for the non-professionals like me, who barely knows how to brew at all, and Ed, who has a lot of ingenuity, it's really kind of fun, kind of try to guess at, it's like in Jurassic Park, they couldn't figure out where the DNA was, so they used frog DNA.
Right.
It's kind of like that. You say, okay, well, it has these 5 things, but there are holes that have to be filled.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a guess at how to fill these particular holes.
I mean, Dogfish is notorious for their ancient ale series, Midas Touch, Sheth's Yahoo, Tahankit. There's quite a few of them, and that's kind of the same thing. Archaeologists are like, okay, I know it had this, and this in it.
What would make it drinkable?
Make it drinkable and close to this, and it's between the brewers to come up with, okay, these ingredients would go good with this style of beer, or even this is something that would come from that area. Obviously, you're not going to come up with a stout,
right?
Because they didn't have that kind of stuff then.
Well, one of the things that I'm working on now is my daughter's at UMES, and I've got some information about beer that was brewed in Berlin, and I'm trying to find. She's in the agricultural department. I'm trying to find like an agricultural historian. Somebody can tell me what kind of herbs were most common in Berlin in the 1730s. Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
Which everybody knows. But if they can do that, then we can make that beer as well, and that's got persimmon in it. But we can't make persimmon beer until the winter, because persimmons. Have you ever had a persimmon? They're not very good mostly.
I've heard they're quite bitter.
They're astringent is the word that people use, and I think it's the right word. But what I didn't know was that they don't taste good until after the first frost. So even though they look like they're done and they're ripe and they're orange and they seem to be ready to go, if they haven't frozen yet, they have the sweetness as an added. It takes this freezing them is what kills that astringent taste.
Oh, well.
So it used to be used to sweeten beer in Berlin in the 1730s. So we're going to see if we can figure that one out as well.
Good.
And the other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick, because this is really fascinating to me, is that New Belgium has formed its own pack, and this is it's breaking-ish. This was out 2 days ago. So a political action committee is like a license to raise money, and what you can do with the money is you raise the money and then you give it to candidates who you want to see elected to help them run their campaigns. What's come out more increasingly in the news is that it's also a good way to put your hands on a lot of cash, because your PAC is a company. So, there's no laws about how much you raise versus how much you give. So if you take in $100 million and you pay out $10,000, there's no law against that.
I hope that New Belgium would be a...
I'm not saying that, but...
No. I mean, I know that. I just think that...
But it's interesting to see that finally the craft beer... Like they tried the hard way lobbying government, trying to get people to write their congressman, and New Belgium's like the only way to get a congressman to pay attention is to write them a freaking check.
It's to pay. You pay for them to pay attention.
And now I don't know where they moved now, or did they announce that yet?
They are in Asheville, North Carolina. I don't think they're open yet. I have to double check.
I lost track, and Stone hasn't made an announcement yet.
Right. I think they said they were going to be Maryland or Virginia.
They're around. They're right around here someplace as well.
I did hear that there is a new craft beer microbrewer opening in Crisfield. I know absolutely nothing about it. I don't really know why I brought it up, but apparently we're getting another one.
Well, so. what I actually put a paragraph at the beginning of my book saying that, this couldn't be comprehensive because as quickly as I could write these stories, new breweries are opening. Absolutely. And plus, I couldn't write about the Lazy Lizard because they threw me out, man. But yeah, I got thrown out at the Lazy Lizard, man. So they're not listed as one of the breweries in Maryland.
Was it for book writing things, or were you?
No, they didn't. They didn't want me in there.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, no, they didn't want me in there with my camera. They said anybody could put out a book. We don't have to put up with you. I'm like, okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I mean,
politics aside,
yeah.
I know a brewery I shan't be visiting, but
well, I haven't been there. I haven't had their beer, so.
Neither have I, and that's bad because I used to live 10 miles out of Ocean City.
Well, one of the interesting things, though, was on that very same trip, I had the pleasure of visiting the guys at Hoopers. Crab House, the Fin City guys on Vince from
Vince was here today.
Right.
He was getting some stuff to do his own homebrew.
Oh, cool. Well, I actually invited him to be on the podcast, but I spoke with his partners and not with him, and they were so thrilled that anybody cared about their beer. They gave me one of each so I could try them, so I could, and I'm like, I'm not going to write about your beers. I'm just going to write that you're here. They're like, yeah, try it. And that's another one that's improved significantly.
Yes. They had some equipment issues, but they had some equipment difficulties in the beginning. And Vince's homebrew is really, really good. It's always been good. And I think like a lot of breweries, once you kind of got to meld with what you have. Like, okay, at home I have this pot on this burner, and I know it does this, this, and this. And then when you try to do it, like, I have a giant kettle I know nothing about. And this is breaking, and that's not working, and why is it 1,000 degrees in here, et cetera, et cetera. That once you kind of meld with your equipment and get it right, and once because Hoopers and Fin City are kind of a separate entity.
Right. Once
they decide to work together better, get a good flow going together, I think that beer quality has improved dramatically. He also distributes.
Well, the distributing thing was fascinating. Doug didn't know this. We mentioned it briefly last week, but I'd like to tell you, in case you don't know, that he co-op brews. He doesn't contract brew. And what I think is a genius move about that, you kids out there at home, if you're interested in home brewing and in going pro eventually, is that he goes to a big brewery and brews his beer with the brewmaster there.
Correct.
And so he's practicing and he's learning how to brew his beer on that kind of equipment. And then when they're ready to open up their own place, then it won't be that same, because you would be afraid that there'd be a loss when they jump from 7 barrels to 30 barrels or whatever.
Right. I talked to him today, and it's starting to take like a good foothold. Last year they did one batch of pumpkin ale. He's on batch 3 now.
Wow, yeah.
Like he did one for all of last year, now 3.
We say it every time. Neither one of us will ever understand it, but God bless him.
Hey, you know what? There's going to be a beer that everyone loves, and there's going to be a beer that I can't stand.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I don't like pumpkin beers anymore.
Yeah, no, but it's more for me. It's like strawberries. I don't dislike strawberries, but I don't eat them when we get them at our home. And the reason is that when we have strawberries, everybody's like, "Oh, we have strawberries," and they're like, "Strawberries are the best thing." And I don't get that feeling inside. So I feel like if I take some strawberry, then I'm depriving other people of their joy. With pumpkin beer, it's the same way. I can drink a pumpkin beer, but I don't like it enough to have that kind of joy experience that some people get.
Schlafly's, which apparently, from what I've heard, is how you're supposed to pronounce it.
That's an old-timey beer. Is that an old-timey beer?
Well, Schlafly?
Yeah. No?
I don't think so. I think they're a newer brewery. Not new, per se, but I had their pumpkin beer.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. And maybe I'm just on an
Maybe your palate's softening.
Maybe maybe I'm on an all-year with pumpkin beer. Like I said, there was a certain one, and I won't say it, but there was one that I quite a bit enjoyed in the past, and I was like, yes, I gotta have this, and I want 30 bottles of it. It's amazing. The next year, as soon as it shelves, I got 5 bottles of it, popped one open, gave the other 4 away. Couldn't stand it. So maybe it's a pumpkin year for me.
It could be, and this could be a good year for pumpkins. I'm actually growing 2 pumpkins by accident, so that could very well be the case. And last but not least, the one thing I wanted to talk about, I can't remember the name of the brewery. I saw it just before I left, is the new 99 pack. Have you seen the 99 pack?
No.
There's an Austin brewery. Name one of the big breweries in Austin. It could be Austin Brewery.
I'm so behind the times.
There's a brewery called Austin Brewery. We're going to say it's called Austin Brewery, and they make they're selling as a special promotion 99 pack of beer, which is about 6 feet long. It looks like a great huge submarine sandwich. And
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Yeah, it's exactly the process there. I'm going to see if I can find the name of the brewery. I don't think it'll get out here, so I don't know why I bother, but. We're going to take a look at it, and again, there it is. The 99 pack of beer is by. We're going to play just the beginning of the
Peacemaker. It's the first beer we decided.
Peacemaker.
It's light.
And we're going to show you
Peacemaker.
the video right now.
It's light, balanced, refreshing, and very sessionable. We brew beers we like to drink, and this is a beer for everyone.
You can have a Peacemaker pretty much anytime.
Hey, look at that. It's anytime. It's anytime.
It's anytime? It's anytime.
Since you can drink it anytime, you're going to want to have more than a few on hand.
You just
So
have
we
a shotgun
decided
hole
to
in
create our
it.
first multi-pack. We thought about a 12-pack. That wasn't enough. We looked at cases, suitcases, 29-pack, and the ill-advised 41-pack. Bad idea. I thought it should have been a 42-pack. Then we landed on the perfect size. The 99-pack.
Yep, 99 of them. 99 beers for 99 bucks.
Get them while you can, and good luck getting them home.
You're going to need to bring a friend.
I can't believe no one's ever done this before. I wonder why. The Peacemaker Anytime Ale 99 pack from Austin Beer Works.
So there's that, the 99 pack. It says it's real. I have no reason to believe it's not real. I don't care. It's wonderful whether or not it's real. But if I see one and I have $100, I'm going to. You have to. It seems like something you have to buy, right?
Well, if you drink them like I saw the picture, they were shotgunning them. That should be a pretty good weekend.
Well, yeah. Well, they're the as we were talking about before we went on the air, the light ones at 30, the 4%, 5% beers. So,
sometimes it's the perfect beer for the every occasion.
So hopefully, I'll be in New Jersey. Maybe they distribute there. Maybe they have the 99 pack, because I would love nothing more than just a picture of myself. That would be worth. I would pay $100 for one beer and a picture of myself with the 99.
You've got too much money, my friend.
99 pack.
I'm in the wrong business. But I will gladly help you drink those other beers or 99 if you get them.
I'll bring them back. Hopefully, and if I remember and I get off at the right time, I would like to bring back some of the carton beer that I keep promising. Maybe I'll just get. Have you haven't had the carton, right? They have boat beer, which is a what you call it? It's a saison. It's a 4% IPA. It was one of the early sessionable IPAs.
Sessionable IPAs. I just had a 3% IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was a little bit maybe more than that. It was from Victory. It was one of their hot ticket ones. Yeah. There was 2 of them. I loved one, and the other one just kind of tastes like hot water.
Yeah, no, this one was actually quite good. I didn't realize it was a low. I had it on tap the first time I had it, and as you do, I hope, and as you do, I'm almost sure. I go in and I see what have I had that's on tap, and that's the one I want. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't had carton, and I didn't even know it was a local beer at the time. I just I haven't had that. Let me try it, and it was very good.
I just went to Specific Gravity the other day,
mm-hmm.
and they had that quick
beer.
They did have beer and pizza. Oh man, the Rasputin Thank you. Old Rasputin on nitro
Oh wow.
on tap. That's a dangerous
Because
combination.
you can drink those
it
down.
just smoothly went down. No, it didn't have that heat that you get from Old Rasputin usually.
Right.
And yeah, that went down a little easier than even Guinness did. I had to kind of
put the brakes on.
I know this is 9%ish. I gotta walk away. But it was delicious. So if you're heading that way,
step away from the beer.
Yes.
And that's it. We're going to call it time at the bar. I hope you've enjoyed your show yourself this week. I know you haven't been here yet, but we had a good time.
Yes.
If you enjoyed yourself, please comment down in the comment thing. I don't know if you're supposed to still do that or not, if that's still a YouTube contrivance. But I'll keep doing it until
subscribe, comment below, tell your friends.
People still do that, right?
Yes.
Those are the rules. All right. Well, I'm following the rules then. I'll have a haircut with any luck next time I'm here. If not, the time after that, and all sorts of stuff. So possibly a guest next week. Almost certainly a guest the week after. Got lots of really cool stuff lined up. This show is going to get better and better and better. We're going to get a backdrop eventually, possibly, or maybe just sit in front of the yellow wall. One of the things. And we're going to try to get away from this Batman kind of like fighting the villains angle that we have. So thanks so much.
Strangers is recorded at Extreme Brewing in Laurel, Delaware. For more information about the show and for beer news and commentary, visit stateofthebeer.com, where you can also subscribe to the show on iTunes and follow along on whichever social network you're least likely to ignore. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. The state of the beer is strong.